It's Dirty Looks right here on your classic metal show with Turn of the Screw. And you remember when we had Heinrich on the show, Chris?
I do. And now he's dead.
Yeah, he died.
Yeah.
It's like, that's bizarre. That guy was really nice and stuff, but, you know, it was pretty clear that he had some problems.
Yeah. And what did he die of a drugs?
I think it was a drug-related incident.
Okay.
Or he had a heart attack due to drug-related incident. This is kind of sad.
Something bad. Yeah.
He was trying to, you know, have a comeback with Dirty Looks because they literally had a pretty good catalog of music. They had more music catalog than Cinderella.
Right. Well, so do I pretty much. I've got.
Yeah. No. Isn't that amazing? You know, if you know, Jeff LaBar could have kept his problems under wraps.
Mm-hmm.
Cinderella would still be a very viable touring band today.
Sure.
But obviously Tom Kiefer is keeping that legacy alive as a solo act.
Mm-hmm.
But for a band who only had four records,
yeah,
they sure have you know, had a long career.
They squeezed every drop of blood out of that stone.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, speaking of Turn of the Screw,
yes,
I just wanted to point this out that some of the news media that we get out there, if you want to even call this news,
okay,
that is so biased against our current president.
Okay.
I wanted to read this article here that is kind of near and dear to our hearts.
Okay.
That I think we as responsible people know what the real answer is.
Mm-hmm.
But if you believe the spin that this is put on it, you would think that Trump is like some kind of devil.
Okay.
This article comes from Salon, which is I hate Trump website for sure.
Okay.
But this is something that we've covered here on the show, and this amazes me that in this day and age, this is still a problem.
Okay.
Thanks to Trump, STD rates hit a record high.
Thanks to Trump.
Thanks to Trump.
Okay.
So Trump is out there basically fucking everything that moves, like Jay of Jay and Silent Bob.
Yeah.
Spreading diseases.
No kidding.
It's all Trump's fault.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, it's not the individual's fault or, you know, kind of taking responsibility for your own actions. It's Trump's fault that,
of course,
you know, STDs are on the rise.
Mm-hmm.
I always have a problem with that because as a young person, you know, and you and I definitely have two different philosophies on this.
Mm-hmm.
I was very responsible and still am when it comes to intimate relationships with women.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You, on the other hand, during your tour with the, you know, in the military, you more or less threw caution to the wind.
Right. Correct.
And that was not the way that I lived. I was very methodical about it. I was very well thought out. And fortunately, I have never had a STD or an unwanted pregnancy or any other thing that comes along with irresponsible behavior.
Sure.
Now, if I did accidentally knock a chick up or got some kind of a STD from somebody,
mm-hmm.
I would go, God damn it, Trump.
Well, when was the last president where they were in office? Who was it that they were in office and you were getting ready and you'd been out with this chick a couple times and, you know, you being all responsible or whatnot, but you got to that place where it was time to, you know, stick your dick in her? Who was president when you sat there and said, you know what? Thank God for President so-and-so, because I'm about to fuck you now.
Never entered my mind.
Of course not. No one in the history of fucking has ever thought I'm doing this for my president.
Or saying, you know what? Obama's in office. I don't have to wear a condom now.
No. That could have been. No. I mean, seriously, no one when you're about to get your fucking nut on, or off as the case may be, The last thing you're worried about is who the fucking president is, or what they say, or what they stand for.
Exactly.
Salon are stupid.
They are. On Tuesday, the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention released an annual report revealing that the number of combined reported cases of syphilis, I didn't even know that was a thing still.
No.
Syphilis. I thought that went out with Al Capone. Gonorrhea and chlamydia. Boy, these are all old school STDs.
Oldie time shit. They're bringing it back.
It is. It's like Randall on Clerks 2. I'm bringing it back.
Bringing it back.
Yeah. This is old school shit. This was never an issue when I was growing up. Don't fuck that chick without a condom. You might get syphilis.
Yeah. That's okay. I'm bringing it back.
When was the last time you heard or were concerned about catching syphilis, gonorrhea, or chlamydia?
Jesus. Concerned about it?
Yeah, or even thought there's a chance that I could catch any one of those three.
Probably the military.
So we're talking 30 years ago.
Yeah, it hasn't been recent. That's for damn sure.
That's my point. So all of a sudden, these three STDs are on the rise.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I thought by this time those were pretty much, a rare occasion, but apparently this is running rampant again.
Okay. Well, hey, have at it. I guess that's what you get when you fucking lube your dick up with shit in the fucking cities of like San Francisco and whatnot.
Right.
Jesus.
Titled Sexually Transmitted Disease Surveillance Report, the report noted that in 2018, there were more than 2.4 million
Wow.
syphilis, gonorrhea, and chlamydia infections combined, an increase of more than 100,000 from the previous year.
My goodness.
There was also a 71% increase in syphilis cases since 2014, along with 22% increase from 2017 in a number of newborn deaths related to congenital syphilis.
Wow. Brutal.
At what point did this become an issue? When I was growing up, and even when I was a young adult in the 80s,
Mm-hmm.
you ever heard of a baby dying due to syphilis?
No. You barely heard of any adults.
That's my point.
You heard of Al Capone. That was always the throwback with syphilis. It was always the joke. That's what Al Capone had.
Yeah, he had syphilis.
Yeah. That was it.
That was the 40s.
Yeah.
We're almost 100 years past that, and we're still
dealing with the syphilis.
The CDC said that the rise in newborn deaths caused the congenital syphilis, which is passed from the mother to the child during pregnancy. It's connected to rising syphilis rates among women having children. In a media statement, the CDC encouraged women to get tested for STDs by their healthcare providers and use protection. Gee, what a novel thought.
Mm-hmm.
What? Use protection?
Yeah.
STDs can come at a high cost for babies and other vulnerable populations. Curbing STDs will improve the overall health of the nation and prevent infertility, HIV, and infant deaths. Really?
Good. No, what else will prevent them?
I'm glad you brought that up because I had no idea.
Hey, you know what else will prevent all those things? A condom.
Yeah.
Jesus.
The CDC did not explicitly state it. STI testing is becoming harder to come by for vulnerable populations because free test clinics, including some Planned Parenthood clinics, are being defunded by the Trump administration's policies.
So it's his fault.
It's his fault. Ironically, the Trump administration's pro-life policies have put newborn babies at a high risk for death.